Video created with Rollideo.com. Friends has been criticized for its lack of diversity, and co-creator Marta Kauffman is finally ready to admit her failure, with a $4 million apology. "I've learned a lot in the last 20 years, Kauffman said in a Zoom interview. Admitting and accepting guilt is not easy. It's painful looking at yourself in the mirror. I'm embarrassed that I didn't know better 25 years ago, the television writer said. The popular show, which ran from 1994 to 2004, features a group of 6 white, heterosexual best friends living in Greenwich Village, a famously gay neighborhood, in New York, a historically diverse city. Throughout the 10-year run of the show, the sitcom continued to whitewash New York City and rarely featured a character of color. Friends only introduced 2 recurring characters of color, both of whom were brought on as short-lived love interests for Ross. In an attempt to redeem herself, Kauffman pledged $4 million to her alma mater, Brandeis University, to fund an endowed chair in the school's African and African American Studies Department, one of the oldest in the country. It will support a distinguished scholar with a concentration in the study of the peoples and cultures of Africa and the African diaspora and assist the department to recruit more expert scholars and teachers, the university announced. It took me a long time to begin to understand how I internalized systemic racism, Kauffman told Brandeis. I've been working really hard to become an ally, an anti-racist. And this seemed to me to be a way that I could participate in the conversation from a white woman's perspective. However, her co-creator Kevin Bright doubled down on his choices, noting the chemistry among the actors. I would have been insane not to hire those 6 actors. What can I say? I wish Lisa was black? He told The Hollywood Reporter. Kauffman told the LA Times that she has received nothing but love since announcing the $4 million pledge, along with people acknowledging it was long overdue. I have to say, after agreeing to this and when I stopped sweating, it didn't unburden me, but it lifted me up. But until in my next production, I can do it right, it isn't over. I want to make sure from now on in every production I do that I am conscious in hiring people of color and actively pursue young writers of color. I want to know I will act differently from now on. And then I will feel unburdened, Kauffman said. Let's see some comments on Reddit. So white people can't hang out with each other without it being considered racist? This is pure tokenism. This is stupid. There is nothing to apologize for. If Friends was made in 2020, it would have a more diverse cast. It was made in the 90s. There are plenty of groups of 6 people that are all the same sexual orientation and race. Nothing wrong or odd about that. What is with this incessant need to be chastised over your work from the past that had literally zero malice or bad intention? Friends needs to be recast with transgenders. All original episodes need to begin with a trigger warning and an apology. I mean, it may not have been diverse, but it was realistic. No one seeks out a group of friends and makes a list to check off every race, religion and creed in their friendship group. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wasn't very diverse either. Because, it was about a black family, and those mostly contained black people. And you know what? That's totally fine. I understand a push for diversity, but at the same time, there are actually groups of white people hanging out together. It's more that the background characters even were strikingly non-diverse, in a way that's kind of weird and unrealistic. This isn't like trying to stick a black character into a show about Vikings, like it was weird and remarked on at the time. Even the extras seemed to be mostly white. That's just not reality in one of the most diverse cities in the world. It's nonsense to apologize after the fact for a lack of diversity. If you're checking off some kind of diversity list just for the sake of doing so, what does that add to the story? I think it's more that New York is super diverse in reality, but that was never reflected in the show, even among background characters. I'm Mexican and I don't really care, all my favorite shows don't have the representation. In fact, whenever a Latino character is shown, I don't feel represented. I find forced diversity as insulting as lack of diversity. She is trying to ride the diversity train, just to be hip. Video made at Rollideo.com. Rollideo is a super easy tool to automatically create videos with auto-generated voiceovers and the exact subtitles. Thanks for watching.